Lawn Chair Sports Episode 2. Happy to have you. Very excited to run down NFL Week 1 recap. What an amazing week it was. Andy, how many surf sizes did we down this week?
I mean, we're probably looking at 14 or 15 over the weekend.
Yeah, wonderful weekend for the boys. Saturday, great day drinking day. Sunday, all day football. Doesn't get much better than that. So we're going to run right into it. We're going to recap the games real quick. Then we're going to do some winners and losers, ups and downs, the pumped and not pumped, stock up, stock down. We got some good segments for you guys. Then we're going to finish it up with some life advice. I think you're going to be excited to listen to the whole show. So don't tune out. Please watch the whole thing. And if you don't mind, give us a like, subscribe. More than happy to be here. More than happy to bring you guys this show. So let's jump right into Week 1 NFL recap. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23, Atlanta Falcons 20.
This was an awesome game to watch. Great divisional matchup. Both quarterbacks showed out well. Could very well come down to these two at the end of the season. So this game could mean a lot. Exciting showing on both
and
ends.
Baker back against the wall, takes the team down. Second TD pass to Emeka Egbuka. What a wonderful rookie that guy looks like. Watch out for him. Scary duo, him and Godwin. Not Godwin. He's replacing Godwin.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Evans. So
coming back.
look out for the Bucs. I think they take this division, but good Week 1 matchup. Next game, we had Cincinnati Bengals 17, Cleveland Browns 16.
And the Bengals narrowly escaped. They started 0-2 each of the past 2 seasons. Would have been terrible to start with a loss to Cleveland this time around. Squeaked it out, but still not great. Still not great. Shout out to the Browns. Put up a good fight.
Yeah, I think the Bengals, man, I think they're in trouble. I think they squeaked out a win against a pretty poor Cleveland Browns team. But, hey, shout out Flacco, and Myles Garrett is an absolute mutant. So,
Beast.
They might get some of those wins this year that just annoy other teams. But that's, I think, all that Cleveland's going to be. Next game, we had Indianapolis Colts 33, Miami Dolphins 8.
Danny Dimes is back, baby.
He is.
The resurgence is on. I don't care what we said last episode. Shane Steichen's revitalizing his career. I didn't see this one coming. I thought the Dolphins might be a mess, but I figured they'd win this game. An absolute bloodbath. I mean, trouble in paradise. Things not looking good in Miami.
Yeah, I think just visually, Daniel Jones looked better in that Colts uniform. I think he looked sharper. His balls were a lot tighter. So he had nice, tight balls, looked great in the uniform. I mean, Danny Dimes, what a G, man. Way to bounce back. But just another example of probably why the G-Men organization is just so dysfunctional at the moment. So good to see Danny Dimes. Dolphins, big trouble. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later. But yeah, Dolphins not looking good. Next game on the slot, we had the Las Vegas Raiders 20, New England Patriots 13.
Yeah, it's a pretty uneventful affair. Geno Smith, hell of a game. Geno Smith looking like the best quarterback in the league out there. Only put up 20, but was absolutely frying the Pats defense there without Christian Gonzalez. Another kind of just boring, uneventful affair for the Patriots. Losing another game at home. Drake May was all right, but they barely let him run. And pretty uneventful game. If you didn't watch this one, you didn't miss a ton.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see the Patriots lose so many games in Gillette. Growing up, being a Bills fan, didn't see that often. But yeah, shout out Geno Smith, 362 yards. Also, shout out Pete Carroll for being the oldest coach in the league and the oldest coach to start an NFL game in a while. So, he's looking spry out there.
Oof,
looks like he eats very healthy. The gum, he's still chewing the gum. We'd love to see him chewing the gum like that. But, he does kind of remind me of someone who bikes a lot. He reminds me of someone who bikes a lot.
He's got the tights when he's out there.
Yeah, so good on him. His cardio is fantastic. Next, we had the Arizona Cardinals 20, New Orleans Saints 13.
Pretty uneventful affair. I mean, it's going to be a long season for the Saints. Spencer Rattler, I mean, it's tough. Not looking great, and this game feels pretty irrelevant. I don't think either team will be in the mix.
Completely irrelevant game. I think, I had 2 notes from this game is if you're the New Orleans Saints, it's a tough spot to be in with absolutely no QB chance for the season. I think they need to find a way to trade back for Jameis Winston again or something, get someone in there to give them some sort of life because right now it ain't it. Arizona Cardinals, my take on them, played well, whatever. Biggest concern with them is Kyler Murray pulling up in those shorts that were about 3/4 the way down his legs, making him look even shorter. As the shortest QB in the league, that's an absolute fashion no-no. Next game, we had the New York Giants 6 and Washington Commanders 21.
Tough one from the Giants. I mean, it's sad to see Russell Wilson like this at this stage of his career. There's been some revisionist history. I think he was a stud in Seattle, but the second he left, it went downhill south. He's supposed to be the starter again for week 2, but I think that seat's getting pretty warm, and people thought the Giants might be a bounce back team this year. 6 points, not going to cut it.
Yeah, I think a big surprise this week was Deebo Samuel. I don't know how someone can look that fat like a month ago and then come in that in shape and absolutely just dominate out there. So it was cool seeing him kind of get back into the swing of things. And, Brian Dable looks like he's completely lost the sidelines, and Malik Neighbors seems to be the prima donna that they got rid of a while ago, also known as Odell Beckham Jr. But, not looking good for the G-men. I think it's going to be a long season for them. But, yeah, very boring game overall. Jacksonville Jaguars, 26. Carolina Panthers, 10. I think this one was, a lot of hype coming in about Hunter, a lot of hype about Trevor Lawrence, but don't sleep on Travis Etienne Jr., rushed for 143 yards, really put on a nice performance, showing that they can be possibly a threat. I don't think much of a threat, but you catch them on a good day, they can compete with a lot of teams in the AFC.
Yeah, if you're going to get over 100 yards on the ground from Travis Etienne, that's going to make life a lot easier for Trevor Lawrence because he's not that good.
No, he needs support. He needs that run threat to kind of do the play action. So good to see there. Then we had the Denver Broncos 20, Tennessee Titans 12. So obviously rough start for Cam Ward. Just completed 42% of his passes. So long day for him. I think it's going to be a long season for him. I don't think you're I think you're going to be lucky to see him have one good game this year.
I mean, 6 sacks is tough in the debut. You got to feel for him. Classic player who goes number 1 overall, lands in a bad situation. I mean, they got to find a way to protect him because you're going to lose his confidence. I mean, he's not going to be comfortable standing in the pocket when all he knows is getting his face ripped off. So they got to figure something out there.
Yeah, then we had the San Francisco 49ers 17, Seattle Seahawks 13. 49ers held them to just 13 points and improved to 1-0. I think that's a good win for the 49ers to kind of get some mojo back. It's been a tough couple years for them. They've definitely been on the decline, but don't sleep on Brock Purdy. He's a guy who can really do it all himself, and I think he showed that today.
I mean, that's the thing. Kittle goes down. Juwan Jennings goes down. It doesn't matter. This is a guy, he elevates the guys around him. He can do it with anybody. It's about Purdy. There are certain guys, they need a loaded supporting cast. No, Purdy is the guy. So it doesn't matter who goes down in San Francisco. Purdy's going to drag them to new heights.
Yeah, and I think he's got one of the most team-friendly contracts in the NFL
right.
with that kind of talent. So good to see them kind of get off to a good start. This was a great game. The Green Bay Packers 27, Detroit Lions 13. Obviously, the Packers came out looking like absolute Super Bowl contenders. Jordan Love was fitting in some dimes over linebackers right in front of safeties that not many quarterbacks in the league other than maybe Patty Mahomes and Josh Allen are making. So, man, watch out for them. Micah Parsons just having like 5 plays during the game looked like an absolute freight train. I think this team is someone to be worried about.
Packers looking dangerous, man. Pretty dominant showing, even more dominant than the score indicates. Tough start for the Lions. First game post losing both offensive defensive coordinators. I think they'll bounce back, but Packers got to be taken seriously as a contender.
Yeah, no, I agree. Other game on the slate, we had the Los Angeles Rams 14, Houston Texans 9. Don't need to talk too much about this. I think the Rams, they got some good receivers out there. They have a good quarterback. He threw for over 60,000 career passing yards in this game. Matthew Stafford, McVay, Puka Nacua, Devonta Adams. I think you're going to see the Rams kind of make a little run here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely solid team and able to do it with the defense, too. Tough day for C.J. Stroud. Only 9 points. Had some regression last year, so I don't know. Is that rookie year an outlier? Got to see some things.
Yeah, rookie year
3.
Definitely an outlier. Game of the week, though, absolutely probably one of the best Sunday night football games in a long time, let alone season opener Sunday night football. You had the Buffalo Bills 41, Baltimore Ravens 40. What a comeback. It was down 15 with just under 4 minutes to go. The probability of them winning at that point, according to the random stats from all of these different networks was like less than 1%. Josh Allen rallies the troops despite Derrick Henry having one of the best running back games I've ever seen. The guy is untackleable, and the Bills secondary has left so many questions for Bills fans. It's going to be a tough season for the secondary of the Bills. Until they figure that out, it's going to be tough for them to take the next stretch.
I mean, this was absolutely an incredible game. I think one of the most memorable opening night games for any team. Derrick Henry looked absolutely incredible until the fumble, but just explosive all night. Guy is so good. Ton of exciting plays throughout. I thought great game for Keon Coleman. Zay Flowers was good for the Ravens. I mean, a lot of big stat lines. One of the coolest plays has to be the touchdown reception on fourth down, that the tipped touchdown catch.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome. That's like one of these miracle catches to keep a comeback alive. This game was absolutely awesome. My one gripe, primetime games, Sunday night. This shit comes on too late, okay? I don't want my game starting at 8:20. What about, give me 7:30, okay? Because then the 4 o'clock window, those games are all wrapped. It has its own stage. 8:20 is crazy. I got to get up. I got to go to work. It was 40-25. I was hearing it was a less than 1% win probability, and that's the stat, so that has to be true.
Yeah, if they're not your team, you're not going to stay up for that. But I do think, it's another advantage for people on the West Coast. That game's at 5:30 for them. They finish their Sundays so much earlier than everyone on the East Coast. Really unfair work advantage for them. That might be why they've created some of the best companies in the last 100 years on the West Coast, is because they're not all tired and hungover on Monday morning like we are on the East Coast.
California, one of the largest economies in the world.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why.
And it could be why, because their NFL starts way earlier. Anyway, guys, week one, obviously a great week. Very excited. A lot of storylines coming in. Kind of jumping into our next segment here. We have, Andy, what do we got?
We got a news segment, okay? We're going to do this after each NFL week of action. It's called Who's Pumped, Who's Pissed, okay? So I'm going to start it off with Who's Pumped, and the Who's Pumped portion of this segment, it's brought to you by Michelin, okay? When you need tires this NFL season, keep them pumped up, get Michelin. Don't get those regular shitty tires. They're not going to have the air pressure you need, okay? Michelin, get pumped, stay pumped. They're the best in the business.
Yeah,
so
also,
don't be fucking around.
if you know the name of another tire brand, you're kind of a loser.
Right. I mean, it's just too much. There's a clear winner in the business, so just go to Michelin. Who is pumped? Who's pumped? I will start it out. Who's pumped after week one? I think Aaron Rodgers is pumped, okay? Because I thought this guy was washed. I didn't think much of him going to Pittsburgh. We didn't even really talk about the Steelers at all last episode, rather, when we talked about the AFC North. They're a playoff team every year that usually go out in the wild card round. I think that's why. I think in my mind, I just had them penciled in as wild card and then lose on wild card weekend. But if Aaron Rodgers is going to play like this, 4 TDs, no interceptions, a revenge game of sorts in his mind against the Jets, I think he thinks that they did him wrong for some reason. They could be pretty solid. They could be a real contender in the AFC. So Aaron Rodgers, hey, salute to him. He's pumped after week one.
It was good to see Aaron Rodgers a little bit happy after the game. Obviously, kind of taking a shot at the Jets. Definitely enjoyed that. Interesting to see him take the shot at the Jets, since he kind of single-handedly ruined their whole organization the past 2 years. Got rid of their head coach and GM. Got rid of, after signing all of his friends, didn't do well. So, good on Aaron Rodgers. My pumped up people of the week are definitely Packers fans, man. I think it's maybe an early overreaction for me, but I think we should be taking Packers at plus 900 for Super Bowl champs. I think that's a pretty safe bet. You heard it here first. Packers fans, definitely the most pumped up. And also Micah Parsons, go from a disastrous Dallas organization to being a front runner for NFL Super Bowl. So good on them. I think they're definitely pumped up.
Absolutely great day to be a cheesehead.
Great day.
Love that. All right, so that was the pumped up segment. Now we're going to move on to who's pissed. More specifically, who needs BetterHelp? BetterHelp, the one and only online platform to give you the best online help and therapy this NFL season. Turn to BetterHelp. If your team turns the ball over in a crucial goal line situation, don't get mad at your friends. Don't flip out at your family. Get BetterHelp this season.
Yes.
Okay. Who needs BetterHelp? I'll throw it to you, Trent, to start. Who needs BetterHelp?
Yeah, who needs better help? It's going to be the lawyer for the kid who touched the helmet of the Ravens fans and then got pushed by Lamar Jackson. When I say he needs better help, he needs better legal help because that guy should be suing Lamar Jackson and he should be taking Lamar Jackson for all he's worth. Clearly, he was patting them in excitement and congratulating them for a nice touchdown, which would be the only reason why the Ravens would even be walking that close to fans to get applauded, which is that's all the kid did. He gave him a congratulations. Was it a little bit too hard? Maybe. Maybe it was. But if that's the worst thing that kid does, then, I'll take him on my team any day. But I think his legal help needs to be on par. I think he needs to counteract this legal ban with the NFL too, and he needs to go after Lamar Jackson for all he's worth. This is going to be end up if the NFL doesn't get this under control. We're going to have a malice at the palace situation. No NFL player should be touching a fan like that, especially a younger guy like him. So shout out to him. Feel very bad for him. Someone get him in touch with us. We'd love to. Get him some couple cases of Surfside for sure.
Oh, give him some Surfside. I mean, it's one of those things. You see the pat on the back. You love to see it because we live in a time where athletes, they're just so often criticized, just reading mean, polarizing comments on the internet. So here you see an opposing fan saying, hey, Lamar,
helping
great
him out.
play.
Yeah.
Hell of a drive. It's kind of a rare sportsmanship you don't typically see among opposing fan base in a heated game. So the fact that it turned into something ugly like this, you don't want to see it. And if you're the Ravens players, why are you walking so close to the fans? Why are you in their face when they're celebrating? It's just give them some space. It's their fans. Just a moment you don't like to see. So shout out to the fan. Hope he gets some better help.
Yeah. What about you?
Who needs better help? I think Ravens fans are gonna need some better help because we're seeing a pattern here where it was just week one. They'll be fine. The game was a finicky way to lose the game, but they keep shooting themselves in the foot. We've seen the Ravens repeatedly. Opening night last year, they had a shootout with the Chiefs. Isaiah Likely's foot is out of bounds. We saw the AFC Championship the year before, just super undisciplined. Lost in the game against Kansas City, ton of penalties. Not only that, Buffalo has their number. So we already knew that Baltimore probably couldn't go into Kansas City and win, but I don't know if they feel that they can beat the Bills because we've seen Buffalo beat them in the playoffs multiple times now. They're beating in the regular season. I mean, how could you have confidence after blowing a 15-point lead with just a few minutes left? I think the Ravens, there's some panic there. They're a bona fide contender, but how great can you feel when the other two top teams in the conference have your number?
Yeah, I think it's a tough place to be as third best team in the AFC, and that's where they stand. That's where they're going to stick. I think it's the Bills versus Chiefs again in the AFC Championship. That's a whole other story. But yeah, it's a bad day to be a Ravens fan. It's a very, very bad day. Okay, we're going to move into this one. This is Goober of the Week. Okay, Goober of the Week, kind of self-explanatory. Just bonehead person. My Goober of the Week is actually Zay Flowers. Just a quick on him. They definitely panned to him in that third quarter there after he scored one of his touchdowns. He's just waving to Bills fans. Anytime a player is waving or taunting opposing teams while they're up, it's just a guarantee that they're going to blow the lead. As a fan, you hate to see one of your players doing that. I have never seen a game where a player does that and then the team still wins. They always lose in some dramatic fashion. Zay Flowers, you are my Goober of the Week.
Yeah, never get caught celebrating early.
Never
ends well. I love it. My Goober of the Week, I'm going with Jalen Carter. I thought this was one of the dumbest things I've seen in a while. How are you going to get yourself thrown out of the game 6 seconds into the first game of the season just after you had your little ceremony and got your Super Bowl rings? I thought absolutely embarrassing. Spitting on Dak Prescott to get thrown out. He's lucky that the Eagles won the game because it was less of a story. If not, I feel like guys in the locker room would be pretty pissed. You lose your best defensive player. The fact it was 6 seconds into the first game. Also, I don't expect you to necessarily love opposing quarterbacks in your division, but Dak Prescott, of all people, seems like relatively harmless guy, not much of a shit talker. I thought that was crazy, and just super uncharacteristic for a guy like Jalen Carter. Kind of his whole thing from his time at Georgia to his time in the NFL with the Eagles. He's all about community, family,
Right.
What's best for the team. So, kind of to see this, it was just an out of character moment. And I don't know, kind of up and down the Philly organization, they emphasize character. So it was just
Yeah, and it's crazy to see it from a guy with that much character. You know, he showed at his Georgia time that he really drove the character there. You know,
Did
he steered that program in the right direction. Um, you know, he never did anything but just head-on collisions during the game. That's about it. But great culture guy, Jalen Carter.
no, it was
Very out of character.
I mean, he hasn't been we haven't seen him be a no-show like this in a long time.
No.
It had been a couple years, but an absolute no-show when you get kicked out 6 seconds
You
in.
feel
So
for a guy like
it was
that.
like he left the scene of the crime. That's what
Yeah.
it felt like when you got kicked out 6 seconds in.
It did, yeah. It was almost like that. But anyway, great guy. I don't think he should deserve any more punishment. I think people have been too hard on him legally his whole life. So good on him. Next thing, we're just going to kind of run down some topics, just chat about them a little bit. First is obviously the big lottery that just happened. So, number one, I want to ask you, are you taking the lump sum of the $1.8 billion, or are you taking out the amortized things? And then what are you doing first once you actually get this money?
I'm going to need that lump sum, okay?
Yes.
Give me that money right here, right now. I need that. There's no waiting. I think some people might need it split up to kind of save themselves, right? But I don't care what the payout is. If you blow, even call it $400 million, you are absolutely hilarious. But the first thing that I'm buying some Surfsides. I mean, that's kind of an easy one.
You buying the company or? Whew, probably.
Maybe I could.
Yeah.
Maybe I could.
I'm just joking. Surfside's actually worth $2.6 billion. One of the best alcohol brands out there. Shout out to them for letting us stay in this Airbnb again.
That's right. Shout out to them for letting me buy Surfsides and drink them, because even that feels like a privilege. Getting some Surfsides for the boys, no doubt. What I'm doing, I'm just gonna spend on some fun shit. Okay, I'm gonna buy. I wanna get a house or two. I want to pick a few of my favorite spots. Give me I want to be able to bounce around a little bit. Give me Florida in the wintertime, somewhere to get away in the summer. But here's another thing. I'm gonna start popping up at all these sporting events. I'm gonna be one of those like courtside douchebags where you ask, where did that guy get his money? The lottery. That's how.
Only if you show up in those socks.
Oh, of course. These are going everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andy's socks.
Hey.
Definitely had a lot of positive comments last week about them. So definitely kind of turning into your thing, man.
And if I win, maybe I'll score a few more pairs of these.
I think so. I think we need a sponsorship. So, I mean, for me, it's definitely lump sum. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the unfortunate part would be every single person in your life, your relationship instantly changes. I think you have to set the parameters right up front. I think everyone's going to be a suck from you, and it's going to be tough to meet anyone genuinely for the rest of your life. However, you figure out a way to try to keep your name as silent as possible. You try it like hell to not let everyone know that you win the lottery. But it's inevitable that your family relationships are going to kind of go down the tube. I'm giving them all a very good amount of money up front, but I'm making them sign something that says they can never ask me again for money. I don't know if that's even legally enforceable, because I'm sure they will once they blow it. But hey, we'll play the game of see who blows it faster, because I think I could blow that money faster than if I gave my brother like $2 million. He'd probably be set for life.
And any amount you give them,
it's not
still
enough.
won't be enough. The second they ask for $1 more and you say no, they're going to say, oh,
correct.
You still have all these other millions. But honestly, worth it to ruin relationships with friends and family. I'd take that any day.
100%. Next topic we got, so NFL expansion. So obviously they're playing, South America. They're playing in Europe a lot this year, in London again. It begs the question of, do you think a team overseas in Europe, let's go them for example, is sustainable? And if so, what city would you like to see them have it in?
I mean, it's a cool idea for sure. I don't know if it could be sustainable. As far as a city, I think for starters, London seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Just because they love sending the Jaguars over there, might as well just have them stay one of these times. Basically a home away from home. But I'm trying to think other places that'd be cool. I feel like Italy having a team would be pretty electric.
Ooh.
Okay, I don't think they played any games there, but
do they
maybe
renovate the
Coliseum?
Yeah, do they renovate the Coliseum?
Ooh.
For that? Then they should get a team.
That could change the entire conversation.
Yeah.
But in general, I feel like having a team in Europe seems pretty impractical. I don't know who would want to be on that team. Not that these guys don't like Europe or don't want to live in Europe, but just the logistics of traveling across continents, I feel like would be such an unfair advantage. I know even in the NBA, sometimes guys don't like playing for Toronto because not that they don't like Canada. It's just a pain in the ass having to go in and out of the country all the time. It's a paperwork nightmare. So maybe they could have some type of minor league or division in Europe where they only play each other, but you can't have a guy playing for Los Angeles traded to London. That's crazy.
It is. I think it's a logistical nightmare. Obviously, I played football overseas in Munich, Germany for a year, so I got a unique kind of take on it. I think there's the fan base to support an NFL team over there is 100% there. However, logistically, it's an absolute nightmare. I think one thing that everyone's underestimating is all the legal passport issues that could take place. I mean, it's like, every 2 days you hear a story about how these guys are in legal trouble. You hate to see them lose their passport or something, and then that affect like an outcome of an important game. So NFL's flirting with some danger there. I don't know how much pull that they actually have overseas. Goodell with some of these chancellors and presidents and queens overseas. But that's an interesting thing that I don't think people are thinking about for overseas games.
And another thing that, people are saying, oh, well, this could be something that brings in a lot more revenue for the league. One thing we've heard from owners recently, they're kind of saying, hey, look, I'm good.
Yeah.
We've seen some of the numbers. The NFL is just raking in money year over year, and it's a very profitable business for these owners. A lot of them are saying, look, I don't need more. I'm good at where it's at now. It's a bit much. Just, hey, let's cool it a little bit. So I think there's going to be some pushback amongst owners kind of saying, hey, let's
well, and the owners do care about the players and all of the the time they spend traveling.
Right.
The owners really want to make sure it is about the players overall. Forget all the money. It really is just about the players being happy.
Players, yeah. Players, fans, and just the community, really.
All right. So, this was an interesting thing that we brought up. So Tom Brady last year was not allowed into any of the almost like pre-game meetings that announcers usually have with teams. And the thought was, since he's part ownership of the Raiders, they didn't want him kind of getting any secrets. So he is now allowed this year to be doing that. Andy, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's great. Honestly, I don't see any issues with Tom Brady having all of the information about what teams are going to run, what's going on behind the scenes of their franchises, because I don't see how it would really affect the outcome of anything one way or the other. So I say give Tom Brady all the information, give him the tools he needs to do his job the best way possible. Fox giving him a lot of money, so give him the resources he needed to thrive in the role.
Yeah, I think as a Patriots fan, it makes sense that would be your take. Obviously you grew up with Tom Brady going to all the teams that he was playing in practices, and he had film of all the trick plays and defenses that were going to be run his entire career. So him and Belichick have been doing this for years. It's no surprise Brady wants to continue doing it. I don't think it's going to help his broadcasting skills at all. I think he's one of the worst broadcasters that we have out there, and for some reason, broadcasters are now getting paid such a ridiculous amount of money. I'm not sure why, because I think we can all agree every single one of us that are tuning into the games are only tuning in because it's the only option to watch the game, and it doesn't matter who's broadcasting because we're going to still watch it.
Well, the thing is, Tony Romo knew which plays were coming for the first season or two he's in the booth. So when that happened, fans were excited. They said, you know what? I think the market value of a color commentator is about $300 million over 10 years. So he really raised the floor for future commentators.
Yeah, it's good. I would really trade watching 362 commercials per game just so Fox can afford to have Tom Brady commentate.
That's why he's the GOAT.
So really great there. We haven't talked about this yet. It's kind of a sad thing to see, but the viral Karen baseball clip. So, my initial take on it is that dad, wonderful job at getting the ball. I mean, that's what you got to do. I kind of equate it to jackpot, the game jackpot, like in elementary school. It was jackpot, dead or alive. And so that ball was free game, no matter where it first landed, until someone was in full possession of it.
That's right.
And I think, the way that he went back to his seat and then cowered to that woman and gave her the ball, I think he's going to have a tough time going home to his wife after that. I think he should have stood on his morals and kept that ball. And so it's sad to see him kind of have to go home to his wife after that.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. I've always thought it's so hard to get a home run ball at a game. I've been to plenty of games over the years, never gotten a ball. And it sucks how these days they kind of make you out to be an asshole if you don't give the ball to a kid. In this case, he gave it to his son. But even worse than that would be a Karen up in your face yelling at you, saying that you took the ball away from her. I mean, that is absolute nightmare fuel. Hated to see it. I think her point of view is that it landed sort of near her, so she should have gotten it. But that's not how the world works, lady. It is fair game. I like how the internet came out unified in support of the dad. I haven't heard a single person say that actually he did take the ball from her. I like how across the board she's pretty much just getting roasted.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's kind of one of the weird times where the internet comes together.
It is rare, and I think we need to find her name and dox her, and I think we need to get her fired. I'm personally here for it. I know Andy is as well. But I think overall, shitty lady, and
She sucks.
don't like her haircut at all.
Oh, and shout out to the Phillies. You know, they brought Harrison Bader out, guy with the homer, met the kid, gave him a signed bat. So she's a Karen. You got to meet the player. I mean, I think the kid comes out big winner in this.
I agree. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to the rundown there. Now we got life advice.
And it's a sponsored segment. We have a new sponsorship this
tell
week.
me
We do have
more.
a new sponsorship. Okay. Beginning this week, Life Advice is sponsored by the little plastic tables that kind of come in the middle of the pizza box. Okay. So little fucking plastic tables. Find them inside your pizza when you eat pizza this NFL season. That's little fucking plastic tables. It's the only type of plastic that you're going to want to see inside your food. They're not microplastics. They're little plastic tables. Find them in your pizza this NFL season.
No, and that's great. I can't believe I almost forgot one of our top sponsors.
Oh, hey, we're going to get in the groove. It's
But no, guys, we appreciate you guys reaching out to us with emails, kind of your situations going on. Obviously, me and Andy had come from such a great perspective because, just two scumbag guys giving life advice and have no business doing it.
love it.
So first one comes from Mike up in Muncie, Indiana. Mike said, "My girlfriend hates my friend. Hey guys, I've been dating my girlfriend for about a year now, but she cannot stand my best friend. She says he is super immature and a bad influence on me. He's been my buddy since middle school, though. Do I draw the line and defend him, or is this the price of being in a serious relationship?" I got a lot of thoughts on this one. I think, we're missing a lot of context, so we need to know your intentions with this girl. That's first and foremost. If your intentions are to marry her and you really love her, you're going to have to make some serious decisions about where you're spending your time. But at the end of the day, you also need to make sure you're aligned with the girl that you're with. Okay, if she is preventing you from hanging out with your bros and your buddies, that's a red flag. It's not necessarily an end of relationship flag, but something that you need to talk through with her because the worst thing you can do is be pulled in a this or that situation. I think there's a lot of middle ground here. I think you need to work to explore to find that. And honestly, if she can't take that, you got to really wonder, is she right for you? But also, if you're 35, maybe it's just time to say yes and you just don't talk to the guy anymore.
Yeah, this is a tough situation. I feel like this is a tale as old as time. Here's the thing, Mike. You're actually in a pretty good spot, okay? Because in this scenario, you're the asset. You're coveted, okay? You got two parties just pulling at a rope in the middle, okay? They're fighting over your time, okay? That's really what I think is at play. What are her reasons? Why does she think that he's immature and a bad influence? Do you agree? Do you agree in that regard, or do you think she's just crazy? I think there's a lot more that we need to know to fully answer the question. But listen, if this is just an argument over the time, I mean, maybe you can come up with somewhat of a kind of a split custody plan. Okay, so each each party gets adequate visitation,
Right.
but maybe sit them down together. Have them hash out their differences. Maybe have them put gloves on, go in the ring. Nice casual thing, but great way to get it out. The one thing you don't want to do is have a formal breakup with your friend.
Yeah,
okay,
with the guy.
even if you choose the relationship, just do it unspoken. The next 5 times he hits you up to hang out, say, "No, I'm going out to dinner with Lindsay." He'll eventually get the hint, and you won't hear from him. And it doesn't mean that you can't have surf sides with him.
Yeah, don't be a weirdo. Don't have a conversation with him about it. You just go about your business. That's it.
Yeah,
Just stand on your
never
laurels.
break it off with your boys. Just also, as you get older, sometimes you don't hear from someone for a year, and then they hit you up.
and that's
They want to
fine.
crush some surf sides, and then the next thing you know, you're chopping it up as if you just saw each other the day before. So it's don't sweat it too much. try to make it work. It sounds like they're both great people.
Yeah, but Mike, we don't envy you, man. Good luck. This one actually comes from Jerry in Boston.
Shout out to Jerry, man.
Said, my best friend's bachelor party is in Vegas. Flights, hotel, and gambling, I'm looking at about $2,000 minimum. I don't really have the money for this, but I also don't want to be the guy who bails. Do I suck it up and go into debt, or do I stay at home and risk losing a friendship?
It's a tough one. A lot of people have been in this spot. And here's the thing. When you're short on money, it's a tough spot to be in. But you've got a unique advantage right now. This bachelor party's in Vegas. And as far as I know, it's one of the few destination spots in the United States where your entire trip can be free if you play your cards right. Okay? You're saying, yeah, I might have to go into debt to go on this trip. No. If you're a winner on this trip, you win big at these tables, Vegas is going to be paying you. Okay? You're going to be coming back with so much money you don't know what to do with it. It's like you can't fit it in your carry-on. You might have to check a bag because you have so much money that you're bringing home with you. So don't miss his bachelor party. You're at a part of life where it can be tough. A lot of expenses are popping up. People are getting married. Bachelor parties are expensive. Weddings are expensive. But here's the thing. Bachelor party, there's only going to be one for this guy because this could be the shittiest marriage ever. It might not last 30 days, okay? If they split up, he gets remarried later, guess what? There's not another bachelor party. That's a one-time thing. You're only a bachelor once, so go on the bachelor trip. It's going to be memorable. Great time with the guys, and just win it back. Win it back and go home rich.
Jerry, I wanted you to kind of look at me right in the eyes when I tell you this, all right? There's not going to be many days once you've landed in Vegas and you're with your boys and you're all on the first couple drinks, okay? You're going to look around at each other and you're going to realize that life only presents so many opportunities like that. I don't know what you've been through with them yet in your life, Jerry, or what you've been through, but this isn't a moment that you give up over $2,000. You figure out a way to pay for this, whether that's you asking friends to help, whether you're taking out more debt. You're going to spend that time with your boys, and you're going to soak in every freaking ounce of Vegas because you're one day going to have 2 kids and a wife that are pulling you in 1,000 directions, and you're not going to be thinking about the $2,000. You're going to be thinking about, why didn't I go to Vegas with the buddies? And I think that's kind of the motto you got to have the rest of your life. Money comes and goes, but friends are here forever. So, Jerry, go to Vegas, have a great time. And, Jerry, if you need, we're happy to send you some cases of Surfsides for the boys while you're in Vegas. Just let us know the address and the time. We'll have them there at the hotel. And plus, link up. There's a lot of free hotels in Vegas, too. So I think you could lower that $2,000 down. But definitely don't just say no, Jerry. Figure out a way. Andy, I think it was another great episode. Guys, we can't thank you enough for watching. If you stayed tuned this whole time, please give us a like and subscribe. We're doing this for you guys. It's just for fun. We're not too analytical, crazy guys. We're just out here to have a good time. Thanks for bearing with us. Obviously, we're doing this after work. Got a little dark at the end of the episode, but hey, that's just part of the business, guys. This isn't the pros. This is amateurs.
Look.
I mean, we are pros, but we're just shooting this all ourselves. So I think we're doing a pretty damn good job. So thanks for tuning in. Andy, any last words?
Hey, just appreciate the support. Can't wait to keep growing it with y'all. And so pumped to have the NFL back. It's a great time of year.
We will be having some meetups soon. So if any of you guys are around the Tampa St. Pete area, let us know. We're renting out some bars. We got some drink specials going on. So don't be a stranger. Reach out to us. We just have good times with the boys. All right. Thanks, guys.